In 1860, the United States was collapsing. The country was tearing itself apart over the irreconcilable issue of slavery. The core of the crisis was captured by a simple warning: a house divided against itself cannot stand. The Republic could not survive permanently half slave and half free. Stepping into this chaos was Abraham Lincoln, a man who suddenly found himself bearing the immense weight of a splintering nation. Holding the Republic together would require a leader prepared to rebuild its very foundation. His position in 1860 was a stark contrast to his origins. Lincoln was born into deep frontier poverty and received less than a single year of formal schooling. At just 9 years old, he lost his mother to milk sickness, an early blow that deeply shaped his famously somber and reflective character. Instead of classrooms, he used the light of the fireplace to study borrowed books. These long nights after Farnsworth built the sharp legal mind and reputation for honesty that would define his professional life. His political rise through the Whig Party culminated in a series of highly publicized debates in 1858 with Stephen A. Douglas. Lincoln's sharp arguments against division vaulted him onto the national stage. 2 years later, his election as the 16th president was the spark that ignited the powder keg. Several Southern states proved they would rather secede from the Union than accept his leadership. The fallout was immediate. Southern states pulled away to form the Confederacy, pushing the American experiment to the brink of collapse. In April 1861, the tension snapped. Confederate forces attacked a federal stronghold in South Carolina, and the Civil War began. At the outset, Lincoln's objective was strictly constitutional. His primary goal was to preserve the Union, not to explicitly abolish slavery. What followed was a massive, multi-year struggle. Under generals like Ulysses S. Grant, the conflict escalated into the deadliest war in American history. But as the staggering death toll mounted, Lincoln realized forcing the flawed system back together was impossible. The foundation itself had to change. This is the Emancipation Proclamation, issued January 1, 1863. It declared all enslaved people in Confederate territory free. With this single order, Lincoln weaponized his executive power. Abolishing slavery officially became a central objective for the Union Army. The strategy had shifted. By the start of 1863, the Union was engaged in an ideological crusade for human liberation. By November 1863, standing in the aftermath of the Battle of Gettysburg, Lincoln delivered a radically short 2-minute speech. In a few sentences, he reframed the horrific bloodshed as a necessary sacrifice for human equality, giving the bruised nation a clear moral direction. Here we see the original 13th Amendment. Bolstered by his 1864 re-election mandate, Lincoln pushed for a permanent structural change to the law. This accomplished what the proclamation couldn't. Through intense political maneuvering, he built the legislative consensus needed to permanently abolish slavery nationwide. The military victory soon followed. When Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered in April 1865, Lincoln immediately pushed for peaceful reconciliation rather than revenge. But just days later, the victory turned to tragedy. While attending a play at Ford's Theater, Lincoln was shot by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth. He died the next morning. Booth's bullet made Lincoln the first assassinated U.S. president, instantly turning a victorious wartime leader into a national martyr for the cause of unity. The news shocked the country. As his funeral train traveled through several states, millions of citizens lined the tracks and filled the streets to mourn, revealing the deep bond he had forged with the public. It was a staggering journey. The boy who was raised in a dirt floor cabin was laid to rest as a hero, eventually memorialized in an architectural icon of democracy in the nation's capital. Today, his presence remains a constant in everyday American life. You can find his face on the 1-cent coin and the $5 bill. His legacy is a testament to the fact that surviving a national fracture requires a leader to evolve alongside the crisis, shaping a future where a government of the people, by the people, for the people,